Hi, Leon. I'm so happy to
Hi,
meet you here today.
hi, Sonja. It's so lovely to get together for our little venture.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm. So Sergey gets bad news, and she makes an impromptu decision. She storms out of the hospital uh, to Ada's dismay, because suddenly when Ada comes back into the room, Sergey is missing. Meantime, she set it up to go on a journey, to just escape all of this, and to actually seek alternative treatment. So I think that's also familiar because in our family systems, wherever cancer or these severe traumatic, symptomatic illnesses appeared, we would witness the desperation of the individual family members that wants to find something else. There's something else here. And it's already a start for diving into a deeper inquiry. It cannot only be solved on a symptomatic level. So the beginning is she 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 wants to seek alternative, and therefore the journey to Alvialek. Do I pronounce it right? Alvialek.
I wouldn't know how to pronounce it differently. But the thing
Yeah.
is, she is prompted when she meets another cancer patient that she'd been met before, and he gives her the name of this alternate person because she sees how well he looks. And that is what she wants. She doesn't want to feel ill anymore. She wants the wellness that this little boy was experiencing. And so she gets this link to go and meet this Mr. Zaman. And their first meeting, I think, is very key. You can see she's very nervous, and he's like very cool and whatever. And
Just
she's,
before we just before we get there, there's this little turn that they make to the Parthenon, I think, or
oh,
the,
yes,
the
yes, yes.
Athena, and there's this playful light because Layla keeps things playful and sprightly and exuberant, and she wants to she wants to have a collective wish that they pledge to the gods, let's say. But it also speaks to that desperation in that we want to call in all help we can when we're in these situations as humans. You know, we're happy to look at alternative help beyond our own intelligence. And for me, that's the key. Is there a place we can access, we can touch to a higher intelligence that knows better than we do?
And this is really what they did. They put their plea to what we would call a higher intelligence and had an intent of a manifestation possibly happening. And yes, you're bringing it back that Sevgi's intent wish is that she's going to meet someone that she's going to, a man that she can fall in love with and have a beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
So that's part of what they each had a certain intent. And you're right, that intent is really key because right at the end we actually see how each of those intents manifested
Mm.
in a very interesting way, but also that when we set an intent that we want to manifest, that there is a journey attached to it. And I think sometimes when we set an intent and we want a manifestation, we're not prepared for the journey. And I like that you brought it up because that's part of the journey in the journey.
Mm. A journey within a journey. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's surprising then to her that someone immediately speaks to the pomegranate as when he says, there are many lives, live in many, there are many lives in one life, and then he also speaks to the abundance of this symbol, which says to her, but it's possible. It is possible to have an abundant life, to have the love of your life, to have a rich experience in life. Every one of us, we can have that.
Yeah. So they call it the expansion of origin family, but he's very clear, and I want to stress that she wanted a miracle cure because she saw this little boy had a miracle cure, and she actually wanted a miracle cure. So I would argue that if you believe strong enough in anything, you will have your miracle cure. That is one way of doing it. But Zaman is very clear, and he says, this is a different way. Let's look at what is possible. But he also cautions, and he says, this is not a guarantee. And when I facilitate, that is the one caution I always put forward, because people come and they've heard about this wonderful work, and then they want that miracle. And that is not what this is about.
I want to fully concur with that. I think that the one danger in the facilitation world is to create dependencies with your clients. So the clients start believing that you have a miracle way of helping them to achieve their objectives. So in other words, it's objectifying their own power by putting it and projecting it onto the facilitator. This is a very important aspect of our work, that it's not about that. But at the same time, it's also not about saying that only medical science is the answer. I think what Saman is starting to focus on here is to show maybe you need to look at all aspects of how you hold this symptom in place. So yes, let's look at the medical solution. And let's look at the emotional components of that. Let's look at all the aspects, but let's not exclude a spiritual perspective that you might not be aware of, that is held somewhere else in the past of your family line. That's where this work is valuable.